Damn, can't sleep. Can't stop thinking about the new Lilo and Stitch remake. Actually, no, what's really keeping me up is the response I got for just saying I didn't like it minutes after leaving. I swear my siblings were looking at me as if I just said Stitch was the ugliest thing I have ever seen and that truck should have been longer and bigger. He's the only thing worth the price. Every scene he's in is absolutely adorable, but there's not much else going on that's worth talking about. It was a hollow experience. People are hung up on the fact that there's no Gantu or Pleakley isn't wearing a dress, but the real problem isn't that obvious, apparently, and would only make sense to people who remember the pacing of the original movie. I guess it was just me, but the movie felt like it was rendered at 1.5 speed. I don't know why it was rushing through the story. Where was it rushing to? The end? Yeah, I bet that was the goal, wasn't it, Cheapy the Cheapskate? And now I'm seeing the marketing patting itself on the back for noting how this was the cheapest live-action remake to date. Yeah, it was. Believe me, it showed. This did not feel like a remake. It felt more like one big compilation video for the memorable Lilo and Stitch scenes, except in live action. Scene after scene of recognizable moments you've seen in the original, but without the same level of intensity and emotional grip that gave them any depth. I honestly felt bad because my sister would look back at me to, I guess, see my reaction, and if the movie was landing as much with me as it did with her. I could tell she was enjoying the heck out of this one. Laughed and cried at all the memorable moments, but I felt nothing. I felt nothing because yeah, I remember that scene, but I don't believe this movie in particular did much to earn it, you know? If anything, those scenes just reminded me how better the original handled them. And that's the worst when it comes to these remakes, especially the ones redoing a very beloved story. Because it just makes it easier to notice the differences. A good amount of scenes are mimicked, but with lesser energy and making minimal effort to stand apart from the animated version. On paper, the emotional situation that was going on between Lilo and Nani sounded sad, but the pacing didn't allow those feelings to really sink in before moving on and shoving another memorable scene in your face. And then it's just rinse and repeat. The pacing also ruined most of the funny scenes that could have been funnier. A key component to great comedy is the timing, which the original was well known for. That is still a very funny movie that balances the dramatic and emotional tone so well, with the much needed build-up to be effective. Honestly, some of the changes made to make the story a little grounded and focus on the sisters were alright, and how they utilized the portal gun was fun and offered a sweet conclusion near the end. But my enjoyment lessened because this movie was somewhat speedrunning through the story for reasons I can't understand. I heard somewhere that this movie was originally planned to be released on Disney Plus, which is why I'm not as disappointed as I would have been. This movie just screams the quality of something that was made for TV and was pushed to cover Snow White's ass. And I think the same thing happened before with Moana 2 covering for Wish. It's just disappointing, and I still can't get over the reaction I got for my very simple general opinion. I love Stitch! He's the best mascot to ever come out of Disney. I just thought he deserved way better. I think the fans deserved way better, but if everyone else thought this was acceptable, then I don't know. It wasn't for me. I'll leave it at that. And Jumba's voice sucked.